on the day of Ashura, he said, uh, if you are not a religious person, if you don't even believe in God, if you're not a follower of any religion, at least be free. This has a very vast and profound meaning. Freedom is not just but the way that we define it these days. Freedom means being free from the rule of money, from lust, from whatever material, from the world, from the worldly affairs, and from materialistic causes. That nothing can make you do something. In other words, he showed a full example of a real human being that God created. He showed that sometimes you have to go on a path. On this path, it costs you a lot and you have to pay a lot. You have to pay all the things you have, your life. It costs your sons, your brothers, your sisters, whatever you have, you should give for your cause if you are trying to be a real human being. So
Right,
he
so
set
it's
the
interesting for me,
example.
Mr.
That was
Khosh.
the introduction. I'll let you know
But no, but
about
it's
the rest.
interesting for me that the way you're portraying this, it seems that throughout the course of history, there have been people or figures who have perverted the tenets of Islam for their own political or personal gains, just like what we're seeing with Daesh.
Yes, that's true. Um, this same school of thought that Yazid followed, the Caliph then, ISIL, Daesh, is following today. Um, they try to portray a very violent image of Islam to the whole world, and people, 27 million people, according to the governor of Karbala, these days. Especially today, the number reached 27 million people are there, and they are showing what the true Islam is. That true Islam is affection, is kindness, is dying for a noble cause. It's not decapitating people. It's not ruining the world. It's not terrorism. It's not what happened in Paris. That's why the Iranian Supreme Leader gave out a message a few days ago to shout out loud, very loudly. He said that the Islam that they are representing is not our Islam. This is not the genuine Islam. The Islam that Imam Hussain and the Supreme Leader and other Imams said is totally different. And the whole world can see this scene today in Karbala, that despite the fact that ISIL has vowed to strike at these people, to kill these people, to commit suicide attacks on these people, 27 million people go there without any fear. And there have been, at least as far as I know, until last night, 5 suicide bombers were arrested by the Iraqi forces that they tried to strike at these people. And it's interesting that 27 million people are in Karbala today, nothing happens. But just a few months ago, in Mina, in Saudi Arabia, less than 1 million people, without being attacked by anyone, around 1,700 people died without any suicide attack. Nothing happened. They couldn't handle that. But people in Karbala, 27 million people, are handling affairs and managing affairs. These are not the officials of Karbala or others. These are the people there who are managing everything, and they are so kind towards each other. We can see, the images that come out from on different channels. They appear. They are so kind to each other that they do not allow anyone to, experience any kind of pain or suffering. So we can learn a lot from Ashura, from Arba'een, and from Karbala even today.
Indeed. Now, speaking of learning, Dr. Fatemi, when people look at these images, as Mr. Khoshesh has pointed out, according to some tallies, 27 million people, 27 million Muslims gathered peacefully in Karbala this year in Arba'een. When these images are broadcast to somebody who has always equated Islam with Daesh, with violence, with terrorism, what kind of psychological impacts does that have?
You see, the father of Imam Hussein's father, the leader of the faithful, Imam Ali salawatullah alayhi, presents one of the most beautiful definitions of Islam, indicating that true Islam consists in peace and composure, tranquility and calmness. For people who have been always exposed to different forms of misrepresentations and have got this distorted image of Islam, this is so shockingly powerful in terms of its implications that they see this image of peace and tranquility deep down the pillars of Islam, indicating that true Islam has got a lot to do with tranquility and peace, because what it does is that it provides people with that sense of connectedness to the upper layers of life. It connects everybody to that sublime manifestation of life, and as a result of that, all forms of insecurities, all forms of perturbabilities, disturbance, pandemonium, all of them go away, and people get that sense of composure, that sense of calmness, so that they would just take it upon themselves to have, that message of peace for everybody. There is a relationship between intrapersonal and interpersonal aspects of Islam, in the sense that when you believe in God and you get that emancipation for yourself, because you somehow liberate yourself from all types of manacles and hog ties of solipsism and arrogance and all of them, you get that sense of revival in terms of your heartfulness and mindfulness and all of them. And it demonstrates that sense of connectedness to yourself and people around yourself. So it is going to be the commencement of a new beginning for your interpersonal relationship as well. Therefore, if you look at the words and parlance presented by Imam Hussain or the infallible Imams, you could see that a true Islam has got a lot of positive manifestations in terms of communication, in terms of interpersonal aspect. And if we got some time later on, I'll discuss the features and components of Ashura in terms of its personal, social, professional, and collective aspects.
Indeed, we